Sprinkles! Sprinkles! The mainnet sprinkles! Fix your back. Get your orange juice with the pulp, 3 ice cubes. PulseChain mainnet is actually confirmed 7 days or less. Here we are. I'm going to start with the biggest, juiciest piece of this all. Ricardo Corazon has, instead of telling you in a secret way, has publicly stated, hey, mainnet is coming in less than 7 days. And I just want to let you know, as soon as you hear this, just chill out, because I have something to tell you. You're going to read this. You're going to squint your eyes on that squeaky chair and zoom in. He is daring you to sell your HEX on Ethereum after the snapshot. He's daring you. Because he is now acting this way, I take this as a sign of strength, baby doll buttercup strength, and look, good luck selling HEX on Ethereum, even if it goes down temporarily. I do believe in a parity now. I don't think these are the words of somebody who will never ever buy EHEX, or someone who knows that EHEX is going to wither away. I don't think you would do that. I think you would do a different strategy. I think you would do it hidden. I think you would fake people out. This is pretty funny to think about. So I'm holding both. I don't care how low EHEX holds. The goal is 2025. I believe in parity. I don't trust it. I don't trust the whole gaming. Don't do this, friends. Don't do this. The liquidity in HEX is super thin. Super thin. Here's Dex Screener. I have the full chart here. This is not the full liquidity. It's not 2.3 million. It's still very thin. It's like 8 million. You have to just be careful, because a lot of people say, oh, I'm just going to sell after the snapshot. The problem is the guy who clips the first 1 or 2 million has already slapped it down 30 to 40%. And then the other paper hand whale, and there will be paper hands after them, or specifically dolphins and sharks, they will paper hand even more, and it might send it even lower with even more slippage. So you think, oh, I'm just going to sell my EHEX, but what you don't know is maybe its fair value in 90 days from now is, let's say it's 6 cents, but you're going to be selling it down at like 2 cents. And you are going to regret it for your whole life. So this would be big. So right now, I just wanted to show this is a little cute 5-minute candles. Woohoo! We can go to down 1 minute. As Ricardo was doing his early announcement, he asked how everybody's going. People started selling immediately. And now this thing is being bought up because people realize, oh, maybe the snapshot isn't done. So isn't that funny? So let's revisit a few things. So this is actually confirmed, which is funny because I did not believe it was coming for a long time. And I've got evidence to show you. I was like, man, it's not happening, is it? So I'm going to let you know with evidence, with receipts, we can see this. Now, there was a part of the time where I'm questioning different scenarios. I plot them out. I share some thoughts. But look at this, friends. Look at this. You're a baby doll buttercup. What I'm about to show you, it might shock you. Remember my example. By the way, if you have kids, block their ears right now. Actually, I've got to use a code word. Papa Noel, maybe he doesn't exist, but you're still going to get your presents. Does it really matter if Papa Noel exists December 25th? It doesn't really matter. You're going to open up the shiny wrapper. You're going to tear it apart. You're going to get what you've always asked for, which is a potato smasher, as we all been asking Santa for. All right, so we all entered anger phase in June 2022. And then crypto collapsed. We had a lot of pain. And during the midst of this turmoil, I was coping just like you guys. I'm you. We're outsiders. We're together. All right. I was like, oh, this hurts so much. Luna, all these betrayals. And then here comes the truth. So it just came to me. I had to swallow the truth. And the truth was the prophecy of this PulseChain that we've been waiting for. It was not actually 2 weeks away. It was a whole year away. I just knew it deep down in my bones. Like, I just knew. I said to myself, hey, myself, Somi, if this was anybody else in any other asset class with any other portfolio and you were an observer sitting on a fence, right, sitting on a fence in your fluffy slippers, looking at them, you would be telling them, my brother, my sister, please forget this for 12 months, man. It's not coming. Look around you. Everybody wants to kill themselves. So that's exactly what came to me. And it was so hard to swallow to actually say those words, but it came out. So I had 2 prophecies actually, which is, you got to admit, this is pretty daring to say this. You're going against giants here. It's the absolute top tier giants. 1, PulseChain launched in the second quarter of 2023. It's coming out in less than 10 days. Somehow we got that right. And the second one was also more daring. It was to go against the titans of the industry themselves. I said Bitcoin would hit $30,000, not $10,000. But this is the funniest part, baby dolls. This was before FTX collapse. Way before. And I stood my ground. You can go and you can check check. What was everyone doing on FTX collapse? They were crying and they were running away. What was I doing? I was running in. I was like, oh my God, it's the end. It's actually the end. Not the end of all of us, but it was the end of the bear market. The bear market ends with a bang. So you can even zoom in. This is me. This is Sep 2022. I found this nice post. I was looking for one of my posts where I just put it all in one place. Look at this. I talked about HEX is considered a success, launched after Bitcoin recovered after its 2019 lows. So, how did I know this all this time ago? Anyway, look at this. I said, if the formula repeats for PulseChain, then we might see a launch between March to June of 2023. Luckily, I have it in one spot. And then it could look like a forced launch happens because Bitcoin taps 30K first, not 10K. I mean, do I even need to say any more, friends? I'm going to move this on. So look at this. So I even went back. I'll just show this prophecy confirmed. So Richard Hart confirming that it's days away. Yes, less than 7 days. You saw the official tweet. It's actually confirmed now. And surprise, surprise. Look, I don't make final indicator posts out of nowhere. You can go search my Twitter. I've never used this term, the final indicator. And for PulseChain, like, come on, man. There's been 300 indicators before. How come this one's the final one? I'll tell you why it's the final one. Because you've got pointy elbows. You're wearing your fluffy slippers. You're sitting there in your mittens. Maybe it's getting cold for you. But you got to remember, at the end of the day, we're going to make it. But it's not 2025 yet. But we're still going to make it. We're going to scroll down. Look at this. So we had to confirm it. So Mr. Crypto 7 was the actual final indicator. So there's a quick rehash. Look at Mr. Crypto 7. He was actually, it's funny. He said he was watching the coronation of the Sir King, and he was having a drink, and his friends talking about PulseChain. And as you do, man, because in real life, friends are like, hey, man, you've been scamming me for a year. I put my money away. By the way, I've had friends talk to me about that too. I'm like, oh, man. See, this is a funny thing. Friends and family, like, what they don't know is, and I tell them this, I go, whatever your frustration is, multiply it by 6, and then square it, and then cube it, and then times it by infinity. That's what our frustration is, because we got to watch the red candles every day. What, you think we don't wake up? We're like begging, like, hey, could something happen to the upside, please, for once? We've been suffering. So here, Mr. Crypto 7, he's talking to his friend in real life, and his friend's like, hey, man, like, Bitcoin went and tapped 30K. The market's recovering. Peppy, Frogcoin did 343,000x. How come all this money I sacrificed for freedom of movement, where are my free points? So understand, Mr. 7, it just says to his friend, he's like, look, man, you're right. You're right. We should be launching right now. So he just goes on Twitter. And I want you to know, Mr. 7 is a YouTuber. Communicating on YouTube is different to Twitter, because the words you say on YouTube, like, you can put different tones, you can understand sarcasm, a bit of irony here and there, but on Twitter, it has to be in a different format. So that's why when everyone read this, and by the way, Mr. 7's avatar does not show, like, his personality is fun, bubbly, optimistic. Yeah, he'll come and have a drink with you. He'll babysit your dog when you go on a holiday. But on Twitter, he's got some, I don't know what this avatar is. Looks like some artwork. Like, I'm just throwing it off the cuff here. And it's just like, there's no spaces here. There's no emojis. He's using too many capital letters and too many full stops. You can't do that on Twitter. You just can't. So he says, it's time to launch PulseChain now. It was funny. Everybody interpreted this as that he is instructing everybody to launch, but it wasn't that at all. But I just took this as like the final blow off of everyone's just frustration. And funny enough, that was it. And right before the launch, like, we're seeing all these code words from Richard, which is consistent from what he did with testnet and other launches before and how everything's been going. So one of the things he does is, you can read this. He goes, how's it going out there for everyone? So this was right before he announced that PulseChain is coming in less than 7 days. Here we have, let's just have a quick look at HEX. It's pumping to 6.3 cents. So I don't know what everyone's intention is. I mean, are they like, this is what you got to think, friends. You might just think if this is just the organic paper hands, then this is everyone weak right now. Like if you actually waited this whole time to get in for the snapshot and you are just buying now, then honestly, God help you, because these people are just going to probably reverse the whole move after, unless something wild comes out and changes things. But I guess we'll have to see about that. And you can see some of the price action here as people try to game it. And you see some flipping and switching and stuff. So I go here before PulseChain testnet version 3. Ricardo asked, how's everybody going? And he just said it again. So this was minutes before he just did that very first announcement where he actually confirms that mainnet is estimated to launch publicly in less than 7 days, right? So this is just a lead up into it. And you can see these big buys and sells. So this is an idea of how many people are lurking to try be the first to sell HEX on Ethereum. So I don't recommend any of this at all right? You can even see trending, EHEX, all right? So I don't recommend this at all. You're probably going to get wrecked doing it. But the game is, just to explain to you the game is, there are sharks and dolphins out there, and they have like millions and millions of HEX liquid that they don't even need a stake. And they want to play the game of who's going to be the fastest finger to click the sell button and front run the slower fingers who click the sell button after the snapshot. So funny, after all the people I've spoken to, none of them say, oh, I'm selling and I'm leaving HEX forever. They're all just trading. So all of them say they want to sell HEX and then buy back at like 1 or 2 cents. But look, friends, please just don't play this game. Once you start playing this game, you're going to get destroyed. You don't know what the liquidity is going to look like. You don't know how thin it is. You're going to click down, up, down, left, right. You have no idea. And mind you, what if there's some juicy EHEX rewards if you bridge it in? Okay, so you want to earn that EHEX, but everyone's playing this super short duration game. This is going to be irrelevant in 90 days plus, and just stay staked. Don't do anything drastic. You're not going to kill it off these. And remember, I made videos many months ago. What did I say? The weak hands, and remember, when I say weak hands, I don't just mean small accounts. There are sharks and dolphins and whales who don't know what they're doing. I've seen it in my career time and time and time again. I have gone against the giant of giant accounts, and I've been like, man, this guy is really dumb, or he knows a nuke's about to go off, you know? It's scary when it happens, but they get these things wrong, friends. They get these things wrong. Because, you know, me and you, we're competing against thousands and thousands and millions of people. But when you get up into this upper echelon of $10 million plus, everyone's trying to be a billionaire, $100 million, 20. They don't have thousands of people they're competing with. They know there's like 6 people they're competing with. So it's a completely different game. And yes, it's just a matter of time. One of them starts falling off because they start taking a bit more risk just to take over one of the guys, and they get trapped. That's how you get trapped. You get trapped when you forget long-term gratification. You get trapped when you forget, hey, what year is it? 2023. Somebody said we're not getting out to 2025 plus, right? Just to carry it on a stick. If we have to hold longer, we can. But these people, they're not thinking of that game. They could lose complete sight of that game because they're worried about the person on their left and right. And they go, they actually look at us like we're peasants. We're like, oh, look at these little peasants worried about anything less than $100 million. These people are trying to get as big size as possible because they really want to get into those upper rankings. Because what else are they going to do? They're going to come down and play with us? They don't care. So this is the game you're dealing with. So I have to reiterate to you. When you see these big things happening, it does not mean they're geniuses. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means they're having a slap, they're playing around, and I want you to know as well, when they make a mistake, and they will, I promise you they will. When they make a mistake, and I've heard comments, people blowing themselves up with this size, right? They always rationalize like, well, you know, I still got money at the end of the day. That's how they talk about it. But if you mess up, you don't have that luxury. You've got to come work drive-through McDonald's with me, and we're going to ask, sir, would you like some sauce with that extra Big Mac? That's what you're going to be asking with me. And we're going to be working night shifts. We're going to be sweeping the bathrooms, and this person gets to go home, click on his little MetaMask. He can even afford to use MetaMask swap. We can't. We're giving away 0.85% every time you do it. So Hexy Boy is still at 6.37%. So remember, at the end of the day, we're just preparing for PulseChain. It's coming in less than 7 days. A lot of people, don't get nervous, friends. My final message to you. A lot of people are going to say, do you have a plan? Do you have a plan? Look, bro, I've had friends, they're getting nervous when people ask this question, okay? Your plan is do nothing. I promise you this, all right? I'm going to make this. What I'm going to have to do is, because this font is a bit, I need to make this font smaller so you stop stressing out. There you go. There you go. Your plan is to do nothing. Do nothing. Do you understand me? Don't do any buying. Don't do any selling. Just hold. What are we waiting for? By the way, you can get this wrong, but we're just waiting for, I want to see where PulseChain and PulseX, where the ratio sets in the first 24 hours, and then we're going to monitor it, where it is in the next 24 hours, and then the bridge comes up. We want to see where the fair value equilibrium establishes. You are not going to make life-changing money. You know why? The money that you want to put in to buy at a super discount or sell at a super premium requires other people, giant volume and money, slapping it up and down. These people are also on the sidelines. The book is going to be thin. Okay, there is no crowd of people waiting to buy PulseChain up 40x. And there's no crowd of people holding, saying, hey, I'll sell it down minus 99% in the first 30 minutes when I've waited for 2 years. You got to think it's game theory now. You got to think about the other players in the game. They've waited too. They're like, oh, well, let's just wait and see what happens. That's what everybody's attitude is. Once the market has found some sort of equilibrium, don't worry, be making more videos like, hey, this is the range of the PulseX PulseChain ratio, right? We're going to be watching that. And don't think it's done yet, because even if you do get in the first 7 days, like let's say, for example, that there is a wild deviation between where we think PulseX should be valued to Pulse. So the PLSX, so maybe the PulseX to Pulse ratio, maybe it's out of whack, okay? I'm telling you right now, we ain't making the juice for 2 years anyway. Every single life-changing return that you and I are going to make with our capital invested now has nothing to do with what happens in the next 7 days. I promise you that. Because remember what I keep telling you, Metcalfe's law, you need the number of users to go up, and then you will get the value squared. That's P squared. So if you increase the users by 5x, you'll get 25x on the price increase. So if you go 5 becomes 25 in value. But look at this. 5 what? You need 5 times new people coming in. This is an S. I know it looks like it's a 5. It's a 5. You need do you see 5 times as many people around you? No. They're going to come when Bitcoin and Ethereum keep going higher and the industry keeps building and we move through 2023, we move into 2024, Bitcoin halving, then 2025. That's the juice. That is compound interest working in the background for us. Nothing to do with maybe, the PulseX ratio goes up 10%, 20%. These little things have nothing to do with what the bulk of your cookie cutting and your buttercup baby doll results are going to be in the future. So I hope I make myself clear on that. You're going to sit there, you're going to do nothing. You're going to look at those yield farm rewards. If you want to play around in them, make sure you do tiny size. We just got to see where fair value sets. Most likely, so I also have, someone said to me, well, I want to sell PulseX back into Pulse at the 1-to-1 ratio. I'll already tell you right now, okay? There are over 100,000 people who are going to be watching that same order open millisecond at the same time as you. Like that same exact moment. And I tell you, of those 100,000, at least 3 have already coded a bot to sweep the liquidity instantly. Seen it time and time again, happens in all news figures and everything. So I'm sure someone's coded the bot for the first block. As soon as the first block's done, they've got auto buy and auto sell. Most likely it's not going to be auto buy because no one's going to be selling you for discounts. If the ratio is set that high, it's going to be auto sell. It's out of our hands. We're going to evaluate what everything does in the first 12 to 24 hours. See where the ratios are setting. Okay? I think based off where Bitcoin is and where Ethereum is, and the market is in a waiting mode now, my feeling is because the crypto market's in a wait and see mode, I think that's going to translate to the HEX and PulseChain and PulseX prices. And we're going to have a fair value gap around the zone where we think they're going to be. And they will also be in a let's wait and see what happens over the next month type of approach. That's what my guess is. But just be ready for anything. I love you all, baby dolls. Just remember, the prophecy is real and we're going to make it.